Welcome back, everyone. Ready for another deep dive?
Absolutely. Always excited to dig into something new.
Well, today we're heading over to Hong Kong. Going to be looking at the Bear Children's Choir.
Oh, interesting. A children's choir.
Yeah, and this isn't just any after-school sing-along.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
We're working from a page on their website. It's translated from Chinese, by the way. And get this, over 900 members.
Wow. 900. That's a lot of voices.
Right, and they've been around for decades. But it's not just the size or history that caught my eye, it's their approach. They're doing things a little differently, like they call their older and younger singers Big Bears and Little Bears.
That's cute. I'm already picturing a bunch of kids in bear costumes.
Not quite. But the nicknames hint at something deeper, like a sense of family or mentorship within the choir.
I see, yeah. So for this deep dive, what are we hoping to uncover?
I'm really curious about the impact of this organization. What can we learn about the value of music education, not just in general, but specifically through this unique setup they've got going on?
Yeah, that's a great question. Like, how do they manage a group that big? And what's their philosophy?
Exactly. So first things first, a bit of history. They actually started back in '92, but not as a choir.
Oh, what were they doing back then?
Recording children's songs, stories, even language learning materials. It wasn't until '97 that the choir itself was formally established.
Interesting. That's almost like a reverse evolution. Usually, groups start performing and then move into recording later.
Right. And it makes me think that this focus on high quality production, even from the beginning, might be a key to their success.
Yeah, maybe it instilled a sense of professionalism from the start. Like, this isn't just messing around. This is serious stuff.
And they've definitely kept that commitment to production value. The website mentions they have their own recording studio and a huge production team.
Wow, seriously, that's not your average children's choir.
No kidding. I mean, imagine being a young little bear and seeing your work brought to life on such a grand scale. Do they even feel like kids in a choir or more like artists contributing to something big?
Good point. That kind of professional environment could definitely shape their experience in a unique way.
Speaking of little bears, remember those big bear mentors we mentioned?
Oh yeah, that's the older kids. So how does that work exactly?
Well, the website isn't super detailed, but it seems like the big bears take an active role in guiding and supporting the younger singers.
I can see the benefits of that.
Yeah.
Like, having a peer mentor could make things less intimidating for new members, and it gives the Big Bears leadership experience.
Right. But are there any potential downsides? Could it create pressure on the older kids? Or even some unintended hierarchy within the choir?
It's definitely something to consider. Mentorship programs need to be carefully managed. Ideally, being a Big Bear should be about responsibility, not privilege. Emphasizing guidance and support, not authority.
And I guess adult supervision would be key, right? Just to make sure everyone is benefiting and the dynamic is positive.
Exactly. Kids can be kids. Even with the best intentions, things can go sideways without proper oversight.
For sure. Now, another thing that struck me as I was reading, the website doesn't mention anything about costs or fees.
Oh, really? That's
No.
interesting. Do you think access to Bear is truly equitable then?
That's the question, isn't it? Sadly, access to arts education is often tied to socioeconomic factors.
Yeah, you're right. Without more information, it's hard to say for sure. Maybe their website just needs an update.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But let's move on to the heart of Bear, the people who make it all happen. Papa Bear and Mama Bear.
Okay, tell me about them.
Well, Papa Bear is actually Uncle Kwok Wai. He's been producing children's music since 1984. He's even won awards for his educational program.
Wow, he's a veteran in the field then. Not just a choir director, but a real champion of children's music.
Absolutely. And in the '80s and '90s, he was a pioneer in using digital recording technology. Apparently one of the first in Southeast Asia to really embrace it.
Now that you mention it, I do remember reading something about that. Think about the context. This was before digital recording was commonplace, especially for children's music.
Right. It suggests he's not just passionate about the music, but about using the best possible tools to create it.
Yeah, a true innovator, always pushing boundaries.
Exactly. And then there's Mama Bear. Her real name is Josie, and she's written over 500 children's songs.
500. Wow, that's incredible.
Mind-boggling, right? And they're not just simple tunes either. One of her song titles is Reasons for Studying.
Reasons for studying. That's an interesting choice for a children's song.
It is. It suggests a deeper level of engagement with children's lives, not just creating catchy melodies, but addressing real-life themes.
Yeah, it makes you wonder, are they trying to spark conversations about education through music?
It's possible. Like,
Yeah.
maybe it's a way to address those anxieties kids have about school in a fun and relatable way.
That would be pretty cool. Imagine a song that actually makes kids excited about learning.
And imagine if they involved the kids in the songwriting process. Like, what if a little bear suggested the title Reasons for Studying?
Oh, wow. That would be awesome. Talk about student involvement. It would really make them feel like they're part of the creative process.
Right. I'd love to know more about how they come up with these songs. But speaking of creativity, did you see the list of activities these kids participate in?
Oh, yeah. It's not just singing, right?
Nope. Dance, drama, even emceeing and storytelling training.
It seems like they're really trying to create well-rounded individuals.
For sure. And I wonder if those skills, like confidence and communication, translate to other areas of their lives.
I think they definitely could. Imagine a former little bear using those skills to ace a job interview.
Exactly. It's not just about becoming a professional performer. It's about equipping them for life in general.
And that brings us back to their educational philosophy. They talk about talent development, practical application, creativity, and fostering a lifelong love of art. It's a pretty comprehensive approach.
And what's interesting is they don't just list those values, they seem to weave them into everything they do. From the Big Bear mentorship program to the incredible production team.
It's like they're practicing what they preach.
Exactly. It's not just about saying the right things, it's about creating an environment where those values can truly flourish.
Yeah, they're walking the walk, not just talking the talk.
And I think that's what makes this deep dive so fascinating. We're not just looking at a choir, we're looking at a whole ecosystem built on passion, innovation, and a genuine belief in the transformative power of music.
I couldn't agree more. This is more than just a feel-good story. It's a complex and intriguing case study.
And we're just getting started. I can't wait to see what other fascinating details we uncover as we continue our exploration.
Me neither. I'm already hooked. It's a fascinating model, isn't it? This whole bear system.
It really is. And it makes you wonder, right, how much of their success is tied to Hong Kong itself?
Well, that's an interesting thought.
Because, it is a global financial hub. Super fast-paced, competitive atmosphere.
Yeah, always striving, pushing for more.
Exactly. So maybe, just maybe, Bear provides a kind of counterbalance.
Like a haven for creativity in this high-pressure environment.
Yeah, exactly. A space where self-expression and artistry are valued, not just academic or financial success.
It makes me think of those traditional Chinese ink wash paintings,
Oh, I like that.
where seemingly simple brushstrokes create these incredibly complex landscapes.
Yeah.
Maybe Bear's doing something similar with music, taking these fundamental elements and building this rich, multifaceted experience for the kids.
Love that analogy. It really captures the essence of what they're doing. And speaking of capturing essence, let's zoom in on their teaching approach.
Okay.
So they talk about talent development, but they also stress practical application.
Right, not just raw talent, but the skills to actually use it.
Right, like what good is a Stradivarius violin if you can't play a single note?
Haha, exactly. You need both the talent and the know-how to make something truly meaningful.
And that's where those extra activities come in, right? The dance, the drama, the emceeing.
Yeah, building a broader skill set, skills that translate beyond the stage.
Exactly. So it's not about creating the next cantopop star necessarily. It's about giving these little bears the tools to navigate the world no matter what path they choose.
It's about empowering them.
Yes. And think about the impact on their self-perception. They're not just passively absorbing information. They're actively creating, contributing, receiving feedback on a professional level.
And that can be really powerful, especially for kids who might not thrive in traditional academic settings.
Absolutely. It challenges the whole notion of what defines success,
For sure. It's not just about grades and test scores. It's about finding your voice and expressing it.
Right. And that actually reminds me of something else from the website that I wanted to touch on.
Okay, what's that?
So they insist on using original music.
Oh, wow, really? That's interesting.
In a world saturated with covers and reboots, it's a pretty bold choice.
Especially for a children's choir.
Right. So it makes you wonder, how did they come up with hundreds of original songs?
Yeah, do they have a whole team of composers on staff?
I'm picturing brainstorming sessions with the little bears, throwing out ideas, sharing their dreams and anxieties, and those get woven into these amazing songs.
And that would be an incredible process to witness. It would really show a deep respect for the children's perspectives.
Right, like they're not just being taught music, they're actively shaping it.
And let's not forget the technical side of things. Papa Bear's early work with digital recording is a testament to his commitment to quality.
Yeah, he wasn't just making music, he was pushing the boundaries of what was possible.
Exactly. And that's a valuable lesson for the little bears, too. Progress requires more than just talent. It takes willingness to learn, adapt, experiment.
So we've got this really fascinating blend of tradition and innovation.
A reflection of Hong Kong itself.
Right, this dynamic city that honors its heritage while constantly looking towards the future.
I think you're onto something there. Bear might be a microcosm of Hong Kong's unique energy.
It's a thought-provoking idea for sure, but as much as we're enjoying this analysis, I think we need to address the elephant in the room.
Uh-oh, what's that?
The potential downsides of this intensive approach. We're talking about kids here, little bears for a reason. Is there a risk of pushing them too hard?
That's a valid concern. Ambition and dedication are great, but they need to be balanced with a healthy dose of childhood.
Exactly. Playtime, exploration, downtime. Those are essential for development too.
The key is to make sure participation in Bear is a choice, not a pressure cooker.
Yeah, open communication is so important between the adults, the kids, and their families.
Absolutely. There has to be a collaborative effort.
It makes you wonder, is there a point where passion becomes pressure, where the pursuit of excellence overshadows the joy of making music?
It's a delicate balance to strike.
And one that I hope Bear is mindful of. It's a question I'd love to ask Papa Bear and Mama Bear directly.
Me too. And I'd be curious to hear from the little bears themselves.
Right. What are their experiences like? Do they feel supported, challenged? Do they feel like they have a voice within the organization?
Those are important questions, and it makes me realize we're really just scratching the surface here.
This one website page has sparked so many thoughts. Imagine what we could learn if we could talk to the people involved, see the rehearsals, experience a performance firsthand.
It would be amazing to witness the energy and passion of those little bears in action, to see how all these elements we've been discussing come together.
It would be like stepping into one of those ink wash paintings, wouldn't it? Immersing ourselves in all the intricate details.
Exactly.
Right.
But even without that immersive experience, I think we've gained some valuable insights.
About Bear, about children's music education, maybe even about Hong Kong itself.
It's been quite a journey.
It has,
Yeah.
and we're not done yet. There's one more piece of the puzzle to explore. The impact of Bear on the broader community.
Ah, yes, that's where things get really interesting.
Yeah.
How does an organization like this ripple outward, affecting not just the children, but their families, their schools, the cultural landscape of Hong Kong?
Big questions. And I think those are the ones that'll really bring this whole deep dive into focus. You know, it's easy to get lost in the details.
Oh, yeah, the inner workings, the personalities.
The how of it all.
But zooming out is important.
Exactly. What's Bear's impact beyond the choir itself? Beyond the music?
What are they putting out into the world?
Right. Do they just put on fantastic shows? Or is there a deeper connection with Hong Kong as a whole?
I think it has to be more than just performances. Think about the families attending those concerts,
Yeah.
local businesses supporting their events, maybe even other arts organizations popping up because of the inspiration Bear provides.
It's like a ripple effect.
Exactly. Like planting a seed, it grows, its roots spread out, and it nourishes the whole ecosystem.
I like that. Okay, but let's get specific. The website mentions Papa Bear's involvement in some pretty major events in Hong Kong.
Oh, right, beyond just the choir stuff.
Yeah, like he was part of the handover ceremonies back in '97, even the 2008 Olympics.
Wow, that's a pretty big deal.
It is. It suggests he's not just a respected figure in the music world, but someone who's deeply connected to the city's cultural identity.
He's woven into the fabric of Hong Kong, you could say.
Exactly. And it makes me wonder, does Bear see itself as an ambassador for Hong Kong? For its music, its culture?
It's possible. And imagine what that could mean for the little bears.
Yeah.
Performing on a global stage, representing their home.
It's like chills, right? It gives me chills just thinking about it.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of the answer to that question we raised earlier about potential burnout. What if, instead of being a burden, all these demanding activities actually give the kids a sense of purpose?
Like they're contributing to something bigger than themselves.
Yes.
It's funny how that works sometimes, isn't it? The things that challenge us the most can also be the most rewarding.
Totally. And if those little bears know their hard work isn't just for them, but for their community, their city, well, that's pretty powerful stuff.
It is. It reminds me of those traditional lion dances they do during Lunar New Year in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Super energetic, Tons of coordination, really athletic.
It's incredible to watch.
Right. And it's not just a performance. It's a symbol of community, of shared tradition, bringing good luck to everyone.
Maybe Bear's performances serve a similar function, uniting people through music, inspiring hope.
Showcasing the talent and dedication of Hong Kong's youth.
Exactly. And I bet that's another reason Papa Bear and Mama Bear insist on original music.
Oh yeah, giving the kids a voice, a platform to express their own stories, their own experiences.
Within the context of their culture.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
In a world dominated by, globalized pop culture.
Yeah.
Bear is nurturing something special, a sense of local identity, artistic expression rooted in their unique heritage.
And that's a legacy that's going to last. Way beyond the choir itself.
Absolutely. It's a long-term vision. They're investing in the future of Hong Kong's cultural landscape.
It's really inspiring. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Bear, I'm filled with admiration.
Me too. It's been a fascinating journey.
Not just for the music, but for their dedication to their community, to preserving their culture, to empowering these young singers.
From Papa Bear's innovations to Mama Bear's lyrics.
From those rehearsals to those incredible productions.
It's been a joy to uncover this world of passion and artistry.
What we've learned is that music education is about so much more than hitting the right notes. It's about confidence, collaboration, creativity. It's about finding your purpose.
And sharing that purpose with the world.
Exactly. So listener, as you go about your day, remember those little bears in Hong Kong. Let their story inspire you. Let their voices lift you up. And remember the power of music.
In all its forms.
Beautifully said. And who knows, maybe one day we'll be lucky enough to experience a Bear performance ourselves.
That would be incredible.
Until then, keep singing your own songs. Share your stories. And let's make the world a more harmonious place, one note at a time.